there, it's Kevin with RogueDeckBuilder.com here with another Frontier brew. A lot of you might recall back, I don't know, it's been, what, summer, spring? I think last spring I was offered to promote an app, give my review on an app. It was called Amino Apps. And I did so, and it was a promoted video, meaning I was paid to do a review and just do a little bit of a trailer, basically a little promotion for the Amino Apps. And again, I don't ever try to push anything on this channel unless I first give it my kind of my thumbs up, my approval, and I use that particular product. And so I'm glad to say that I've had a really pleasant time. This is not a sponsored video whatsoever, by the way, with Amino Apps, and I think it's a great community. Highly suggest that you check it out, because it is just an amazing place for all of you smartphone users. I'm starting to use my phone a lot more than I used to. You can probably thank Pokemon Go for that, because I play Pokemon Go pretty religiously, me and a few of my friends. It's just a way to walk the dogs and actually have some entertainment while getting my mutts out to get their exercise. But anywho, I've been using this app called Amino App a lot more than I have in the past, and recently it has been a deck builders challenge that is sponsored by, I can't remember who the gentleman is or gentlewoman who sponsors the Brewers challenge, but I was basically approached by a group called the Lumpy Bananas. Many of you may know another fellow YouTuber's Tasty Snackies. You should definitely check his channel. I'll have links in the description below for Tasty's channel. It's something I'm going to do a collaborative video with him in the future. I like his content, and I think he's a great addition to the community as a whole. But I'm on his team called the Lumpy Bananas with a few other people on the Amino Apps, and right now is the Frontier part of the challenge. And so the challenge on Amino Apps for Frontier deck was pretty vague. It was just build a 3-color deck. So I've been wanting to brew around Sidisi for quite a while. The other challenges have been a little more specific. I think we just got done with a Pauper challenge where the focus was artifacts, and before that was a commander where you had to use 2 of the new partner commanders, and the one before that was utilize a deck with Gear Hulks for standard. So many of them have been a lot more focused, I would say, than the Frontier. I think the Frontier 3 colors is quite easy, but they didn't really want to splash. They wanted all 3 colors to be significant, and that's kind of tough to do, because actually with this deck, I don't think that any of them are more significant than the other. You could say that blue isn't really focused in this particular list, but I would say that between Prized Amalgams and Sidisi, the focal point of the deck, there is enough blue to consider this not a splash color. So this is my Sidisi Prized Amalgam brew. When Frontier was first, when people started talking about Frontier, Sidisi was definitely on the cards that I wanted to brew around, like very high. So I'm glad that I can accept this challenge and try to do a Sidisi brew. So a little bit of a disclaimer. I don't know if this is going to be chosen. We vote on decks so everyone's supposed to kind of build a deck, and then we vote on the ones that we want to give for our team submission. And I haven't been the most active in this. I was active in the standard portion, and then I got busy with the holidays and sick and whatnot. So I'm excited with Frontier to actually give my expertise in deck building, and hopefully we can figure out a good deck to submit. But this is my first attempt at a Sidisi brew. So the whole point of this deck is to mill as quickly as possible to get enough cards to then get like a Prized Amalgam and enough 2/2s just to swing in for lethal. I thought about putting in either like Elder Deep Fiend or Docent of Providences, just as another way to, or what, not Docent of Provinces. What's the card that I'm thinking? Big Pig. Big Pig is the card that I thought of that can then give everything +2/+2 and trample. But so far I decided that it probably isn't the right route to go. At that point you want like cards like Traverse the Ulvenwald, and at that point you want cards that have Delirium. Now Delirium is quite easy to get with fetch lands, so with this deck, instant sorcery, creature, land are going to easily be in the graveyard, so I don't think that Traverse would be a bad addition to this deck. But I thought that I'd just like to focus more on the mill type strategy of this particular deck. So everything is going to be focused around Sidisi. So Sidisi is going to be very good with cards like Gather the Pack and Grapple with the Past and Satyr Wayfinder. Gather Pack's kind of weird with Sidisi. That's why it's just a 2 of, because you're most likely going to want to take creatures, and this says when it's milled from the top of your library, you get a 2/2. So if you're picking the creatures, they don't get milled. So I'm kind of iffy about Gather, but we have enough between the grapples and 1, 2, 3. Okay, there's 4. I thought there was 5 there for a second. Between the grapples and the Satyr Wayfinder. Now, Satyr Wayfinder is M15, so this card is legal. And then those are the things that are going to get off the top of our library. And then we're going to go the traditional route of like Jace and the Cryptbreaker, as well as the Haunted Dead, to get the Prized Amalgam back in. So Liliana also does mill from the top card of your, or put the top 2 cards of your library into your graveyard, so that actually can work on curve with Sidisi, and you can actually get back a Cryptbreaker. So Cryptbreaker is pretty powerful with Sidisi, as soon as you get a few zombies, just one more zombie off the top, even if you discarded one with Cryptbreaker and then Sidisi comes out, then you can start tapping them to draw cards, so it will keep filling you back up. And between Grapple and Liliana, you should be able to have Cryptbreakers galore. So yeah, that's just kind of the theory, is this deck is going to hopefully outvalue your opponents. So we have Murderous Cut as our removal spell, and then Tasigur is just going to be another card for card advantage. There are so many different routes you can go with this deck. We have Collective Brutality that works really well in this sort of build, and that's been my experience with Frontier. It's been actually pretty hard to get focused with a deck because there's just so many options. So sideboard options I have on the sideboard, of course you want Duress to pick out some problematic cards, like Tormod's Crypt, for example. They're going to run Tormod's Crypt early, but this deck actually doesn't really care about its graveyard too much because it's going through the route of CDC and Prized Amalgam. Then there's Necromancer Stockpile, just seemed too cool with Prized Amalgam. It might not be the greatest combination. You might want to go into more than just Haunted Dead Prized Amalgam for the Necromancer Stockpile, but it's definitely an option versus control. 3 of Negates, just a flex spot. 2 more Collective Brutalities. Voldaren Pariah is really, really good with both Jace and Cryptbreaker. In fact, I'm going to build an all-out Madness deck with Cryptbreaker and Jace, and then Pariah is going to be a focal point of that deck. Sultai Charm is really, really good to destroy artifacts or enchantments. You can draw 2, then discard a card. That works out with a lot of our either Haunted Dead or Prized Amalgams, and it has the ultimate price clause to it as well. Just a pick to brain because we should have Delirium quite easily in this deck, a Sidisi for more flavor, and a 1 of Kalitas in the sideboard too. The Kalitas can also generate zombie creatures. So again, I'm really liking Frontier. I think it's very, very powerful. It feels modern-y. It feels, of course, a more broken standard, a faster, stronger. And the thing I like about this one is it seems like all those Boogeyman standard decks of the past are kept in check or just only on the same power level of the Boogeyman of other standards. So of course we have the 4-color decks that existed during the Khans of Tarkir. Then we have like the Collected Company decks that got really, really popular during Dragons and Origins. And now we even have like the ones that are more popular during Eldritch Moon and Kaladesh. And so I think that we've melded together all the standards quite well in the Frontier, and it's made for some really, really fun experiences. In fact, like we've played 3 Frontier at least 8 or above players, so not a big, huge sample size of players, but people that have been just playing their standard decks, a lot of the red-white vehicles and black-red aggro and those type of archetypes, just upgrading them with like wild slashes and lightning strikes, make those decks incredibly potent, and they've been doing very well. I think red-black aggro has taken down 2 of our tournaments. Yeah, I think I've lost to it both weeks is what. No, I lost to Humans this last week. But again, Humans was just a deck that most of the pieces are still in standard. And of course, you get all the cards from, and there's actually some pretty good cards from Khan's block that are actually Humans that work very well in the deck. A lot of people are also getting excited for the Oath of Ajani coming out for Frontier, and a Hardened Scales, a green-white Hardened Scales deck is looking really good. So far I'm loving the Frontier format, and so whenever there's a challenge to brew something, I'm all into it. So if you haven't checked out Amino Apps, again, I'm not trying to target, I'm not getting paid, I'm not getting anything for this. It's just something that I use. Come find me on Amino Apps, just search for Rogue Deck Builder, and I highly suggest for your smartphone user. It's a great community. So far it doesn't have any of the toxicity of some of the other communities. Everyone seems to be pretty welcoming, and it seems to be a nice diverse group of people that have various different why they play Magic. I mean, you can find basically any category: commander, casual, altered arts, basically people brewing their own cards or creating their own card design, things like that. It's on Amino. And so I found my little niche here, and it's a great way just to chat back and forth with other brewers. And I'm going to try to be utilizing it more in the future. So come February especially, I'm going to be hitting the Rogue Deck Builder channel a lot harder than I am now, since I won't have as many responsibilities as I have right now. And then we'll get back to like doing more of the community stuff, and I hope to actually incorporate more of the Amino side to it. So here's my brew. We'll have a deck list up on the description below, and if you have any additions or subtractions you'd want to do to a Sidisi brew or your own little Sidisi brew, let me know. I'm definitely interested in making this Sidisi a focal point to a deck. It's just such a powerful card that I don't think really saw its potential. There was a Sidisi Whip deck for a little bit, and then people then just started going over to Abzan Whip instead. But I think now with the mill, especially like Prized Amalgam type cards, I think Sidisi is worthwhile to take another look at. Hope you enjoyed this video. This has been Kevin with RogueDeckBuilder.com. Thanks for watching.